Can you believe that there is a PR pathway coming for caregivers in and out of Canada on the 31st of March 2025? I mean, what are they? And this particular one is not just for healthcare, it's not just for the doctors or nurses or pharmacists, it's for caregivers. So if you give care, you can actually use this pathway to apply for permanent residency. I am excited. I have more details right after this. My name is Dorothy Cornelius, and welcome to my channel. This PR pathway, trust me when I tell you, it came in at the perfect time. I mean, it's coming like 2 months from now. For me, it's still perfect because I just finished school, right? And if you're new on here, I am a recreation aide. I studied recreation and leisure service. It's under hospitality in a college here in Canada. And of course, I was an international student. So using that route to get in, to get my PR, I have so many things to do. But with this particular job that I do as a recreation aide, when I researched on it, yes, I can use this job to get a PR, but I fall under tier 4. And for tier 4, PR pathways are very slim. The one that I qualify for is the PNP, that is the Provincial Nominee Program. And with that, when I read about it, I realized that if you really, really want to do this, at a point, the institution you're working at need to help you with certain documents and everything. And I mean, it's not a bad deal. You can actually get an institution that is willing to help, but mine is you can't put all your eggs in one basket. If I want more options, I would have to get a job that is under tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. And with that, well, it's not easy getting a job at this time, honey. I know people that have been looking for jobs way before I even entered my final semester last September. I mean, I can still enter the express entry pool with what I have now, but if I'm thinking of using my job to get more points, it would not be possible because my job falls under tier 4. I got this information from the IRCC website, so if you want to know more about it, you can also go to their website and read more about it. If you are in Canada and you have any form of caregiving experience, and you are also, on your path on, working to get permanent residency here in Canada, this is something you can also look into because it's yet to come out, but the requirements are there. If you meet some of the, this is the time where you put those documents together, and the ones that you don't have, you can, work towards it because you have like 2 months to put things together because it's opening on the 31st of March 2025. And the name for this particular PR pathway is the Home Care Worker Immigration Pilot. You can also go online and also read more on Immigration News Canada. I'll put the links below so you can also read more about it and see if it's something that you can look into. If you're already working, you already have your things sorted out, that is fine. But if you are someone like me that just finished school, did hospitality, or is a caregiver wanting to, get several PR options to look into, you can equally look into this. For me as an international student, our route that we took, right, it was more of finish school, get your diploma, apply for your postgraduate work permit, and when you have your 3 years or your 1 year through that, you get your PR. But there are people that came in as students. I know someone that came in as a student, and within a year, the person has his PR. So yes, you can have your plan, but now things are changing. So you really, really need to be very versatile and very dynamic. You need to get into it because coming here, that is one of our goals. I mean, we don't say it out loud, but if it's something that you can look into, you want to get permanent residency and work here and live here, I mean, it's allowed. But you just have to do it right. And I feel like day in, day out, policies are being changed here, left and right. So if there are certain opportunities you can grab now, you do it. 2 months ago, I never thought that there would be a PR pathway just for caregivers because most of the time, the healthcare, yes, very specific on people that do get PR, like the personal support workers, the nurses, the doctors, people that do science, people that do health, direct health care. So knowing that there's a pathway that is coming for everybody that gives care, it came at the right time. This PR pathway is not just for caregivers in Canada only. People that do give care and live outside Canada can also apply for this. So if you want to really know if the job you do is a caregiving job, honey, you can Google it. Put your job description and ask Google, am I a caregiver? Or you can look up what a caregiver job here in Canada is, their responsibilities, and see if you are doing exactly what it is. Yes, because we have home caregivers, people that give care to people in their private homes, and we have people like me who work in long-term care facilities or assisted living facilities and everything. We are all caregivers. So if you're really a bit, you're not really sure if you're a caregiver because maybe you work with a family, you can go online and check it out. You can talk to a lawyer to get your clarification that you need. I mentioned earlier on, this particular pathway is not just for caregivers in Canada, caregivers outside Canada, be it in Ghana, Nigeria, Australia, USA, Gambia, Cameroon. If you are a caregiver in your country and you wish to use this pathway to enter into Canada to, work here, certain requirement that you need to meet, right? So for you, these are the requirements that you need to meet. One, you need to have achieved a minimum Canadian language benchmark, CLB level 4. The second one is you need to hold the equivalent of a Canadian high school diploma proven with education credential assessment. So you need to use ECA to prove that your school documents, your education that you have, your certificate is of Canadian standard. And also you need to possess relevant and recent work experience. And this will be a crucial part that would make the difference. So meaning that you have to show that maybe you work in the hospital back at home, you work with the elderly back at home. So if there's a private home you're working at, or there's a public institution that takes care of the elderly back at where you are, or in any hospital, this is a time where you need to prove that you have relevant and recent work experience. You need to secure a full-time job offer from a Canadian family or in Canada's home care sector. That's why I am saying that it is good it's coming in March. So some of the documents that you already have, you toss them aside. The ones that you don't have, this is the time where you get to work. Requirements I just mentioned, the one that will be very, very much hard to get because it will be out of your control will be securing a full-time job here in Canada if you are not in Canada. Honey, we are in Canada and it's not even easy getting a full-time job. If you're lucky, you can. There's nothing like never say never, and I'm that kind of person that I go for what I want and I don't really look at the what ifs or the negative side of things. So I feel like if you were a nurse back in Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Togo, wherever you are, or even in the States, UK, and you want to come and work in Canada, there are agencies you can look into. I am not a personal support worker or I'm not a nurse, so I can't say much about it. But I know there are agencies out there that can actually help you get a full-time job because honestly, the healthcare sector in Canada is very big and a lot of people are needed, a lot of professionals are needed as well. And day in, day out, they need more people, they need more hands. Canada is a very big country, so don't just look even just at Ontario because that's where everybody wants to be and look at the other provinces. And trust me, I'm here saying looking for a job or getting a job here might be difficult. Honey, it might not be. Just put in the work, do what you gotta do, and just leave the rest to it. I feel like that is the only part of it that you might not have control over. But for the rest of them, actually, work around it and try it. It opens on the 31st of March. So honey, a lot can happen in 2 months. And for those that are in Canada, these are the requirements. You also have to have a CLB of level 4. You also need to hold a Canadian high school diploma. And the next step is to make sure you possess recent and relevant work experience. We're all waiting for it to open on the 31st of March 2025 to know exactly what it is. If you're a caregiver and you are in Canada and maybe you don't have, if you have a full-time job and you are in here, you're good to go. You just have to make sure you put your paperwork and everything in order. Once it's open, definitely, there's going to be payment here and there. But if you are in here and you have some of the documentations ready, but you don't have others, this is the time where you need to work around it. For me, for the requirement, of course, I just wrote in my other videos, I talked about writing my IELTS, and I got a CLB 7. So for this particular requirement of me achieving CLB 4, I already have that covered. I have a diploma from college here in Canada, so I think I'm okay with that. And you need to possess recent and relevant work experience, and that forms a major part, and that actually makes a difference. Well, I do have work experience. The last requirement, that might be a bit tricky. I don't know if that applies to immigrants that are already living in Canada. If we need to have a full-time job before we can apply for this particular PR pathway, I'm not sure about it, so I'm yet to read more about it. But if that is what it is, then yes, I would have to start looking for a job somewhere that can give me full-time, because for now I work as a part-time and I love it. But if that is a requirement and I really would want to use this particular pathway to get PR, then I have no other option than to go back and look for a full-time job. But if that is not the case, and it's more like, oh, you need to have maybe 6 months experience, you need to use that experience I've gained using my open work permit to get into it. Woo, better for me. So it's more about now reading wide and knowing exactly what it is you can do. And just remember that if you are in Canada, your requirements are a bit different from somebody that is outside coming in. So let's just make sure you know what you're looking at first. So let me know what you think. Would you use this PR pathway to, get your permanent residency here in Canada, or you think it's too much of a stress to use it? For me, I would look into it. I'm not going to waste time at all, because, and especially I did a 2-year program and I get to have 3 years of postgraduate work permit. Honey, I don't see why I should waste time if I can actually get my PR right on time. Do you get it? So yes, it might take some time for it to happen for me, because I'm still gathering experience as a caregiver. Like I said, if I need to go out and look for a job, for a full-time job, if that would make me qualify, then I also have to, I also have a lot of work to do. But it's just amazing that most of the requirements needed, I meet them. Just don't be stuck on one PR pathway. For me, I feel like it's not advisable. So I'm happy that apart from the PNP, that was my initial target, and later on I decided to just go in with the express entry. Now there's another one that is coming on the 31st of March, and of course I am super excited. I feel like times have changed. You have to be open to new things, and you need to make sure you create enough opportunities around you. To wrap it all up, there is a new pathway for caregivers called the home care worker immigration pilot that is coming on the 31st of March 2025 for all caregivers. If you give care and you have experience in and out of Canada, this is something that you can actually look into. And if you are a caregiver in Canada and you're looking for other options, to get a PR, this is something you can actually look into. Once it comes in and I have more information, I will come here to share it, because hey, we are here to help each other. My name is Dorothy. See you in my next video.